You have to understand, like, the right at this current state are like a cornered animal, you know? You know how if you see a wild animal, you never want to corner it because that makes it feel threatened and that makes it lash out with violence? The right at this junction are very much like a cornered animal. Okay, chat, listen, I need you guys not to make fun of me for this, okay? Please don't make fun of me. But back in the day, back in 2017, 2018, I was a big Fortnite player. So much so that while I wasn't good at the game, I overdrafted my bank account back then, buying Fortnite skins. I went over $400 in debt from overdrafting my bank account buying Fortnite skins when I was 18. I paid it off, obviously. Yeah, that was me when I was 18. I played a lot of Fortnite. I'm not really into Fortnite nowadays. I don't think I've played it in multiple seasons at this point, but I keep an eye on things. I watch the live events when streamers play them. That's really all I care about. The story of Fortnite is really all I give a shit about now. I could give a fuck about the gameplay or like playing the game, but I do like the my account is worth hundreds if not thousands of dollars at this point, Sisrot, especially because I've had the battle pass since season 3, so I've got a lot of really old skins. The only reason we're talking about Fortnite right now is because of this. And you can see the ratio here, the 23% dislike ratio. This is the trailer, Fortnite, Celebrate MLK, Time Studios presents March Through Time in Fortnite. So this is the trailer for it, and then this video, it's 17 minutes long, is apparently the actual gameplay. So let's go ahead and see what this is all about, because I know nothing about this. From what I heard, people making jokes about them having an MLK skin, and them having like an MLK live event or something, which would be quite distasteful. I mean, it would be cool, I guess. Like, if I still played Fortnite, I would definitely have the MLK skin. You better believe I'd be maining the MLK skin. But yeah, let's go ahead and watch the trailer and see what all the hubbub's about.
It would be fatal for the nation.
Wow, lag, thank you.
Overlook the urgency of the moment. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi.
Oh, God.
From every mountainside. Let freedom ring. I have a dream today.
So this suggests to me...
Now is the time.
Can we just get an image of, like, the Fortnite characters watching the MLK speech? Can we just get that right now? I'm putting myself on the top right so you guys get a completely unobstructed view. Can we just, like, get this view of the Fortnite skins protesting segregation? So, the first thing this makes me think is, 1, slavery and segregation are implied to be canon in the Fortnite universe now. Oh, thanks, babe.
It's fixed enough, just you can't bend it anymore.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, babe. This implies that, like, segregation and slavery are canon in the Fortnite universe, which is just hysterical, you know? Like, I guess I kind of assumed that it would have already been if this is supposed to be our world, but I kind of assumed the Fortnite universe is very different from ours. But also, God, is it, like, cringy? Because, like, Fortnite is known to be, like, a pretty cringy game by a lot of people. And so just, like, doing this comes off as extra cringy, and you know, I don't need to make this as a point considering like the like to dislike ratio. I feel like among young gamers who play Fortnite, this has set us back like 10 years in like political progressivism. But that itself wasn't that big a deal. Let's see the actual event, because the actual event, if the actual event isn't cringy, then I'm not gonna be upset about it. It seems like it's not like this isn't an area they added to the map. It was like a thing you could select on like the starting screen or something. Like it's a separate game mode type thing from my understanding, this whole like MLK thing. Let's watch. And of course, playing Travis Scott, you'd have to. I like this effect though.
In what will go down in history as the greatest
Oh, this is sped up, isn't it? Yeah, I have it on 1.5 speed. Fuck.
demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation.
It's still sped up? Oh, there it is. So it seems like it's just...
4 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. proclamation. This momentous decree.
What does 5 score mean? Doesn't score mean 14? So like, what does score mean? Like blank score years ago. What's that even mean? I never really like looked into what that even fucking means. What does that mean? A score is 20 years. Why not just say how many years it's been? It's Roman numerals? Ah, stupid. I'm glad we don't use that anymore. Does that mean MLK existed 80 years? 5 score? No, so 100 years. God. MLK, like, was around, I guess now over 60 years ago, right? And then, yeah, it's only been like 160-something years since slavery was a thing. That is not that long. 87? 187? When I was a kid, it was 60 years ago. When I learned about MLK in school, it was 60 years. Now it's probably 87 or something like that. Yeah. So, God, like 187 years? No, that's too recent, right? Fuck. Is it? I don't know, dude. Either way, dude, slavery and segregation were a lot more recent than people feel like. Just say a century? Yeah, I'd say a century. But then again, I don't know. I feel like lifetimes is a better way to say it. Like, how long is a lifetime? On average, like 70 years ago? When you realize a lifetime is like 70 years, you start to realize it was not that many human lifetimes ago since segregation. In fact, it's been roughly 1 human lifetime since segregation was a thing. What gets scary is when you consider how many human lifetimes it's been since slavery was a thing. How many generations have there been between black people today and black people when slavery was a thing? Not that many generations at all. Really, not that many.
Came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves
Whoa, Fortnite,
who
chill.
had been seared in the flames of withering injustice.
So it seems like it's just a separate lobby where they have like the MLK speech and they recreated Washington where the speech happened. This doesn't seem bad. This doesn't seem like all that like cringy really. Like the trailer was like kind of bad, but it's like a little museum they did. This isn't that bad. Like Fortnite's a weird game to do it in, but like Fortnite's one of those games that's done crossovers and different like events in it for a long time because of the way that the game's built makes it very conducive to doing this type of thing. It feels weird. They have trivia as well. That's cool. The Travis Scott skin being used in the MLK event, I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, who knows? The person playing this is probably black, right? Who knows? I don't know. I don't think this is that big a deal. I think... Here's the problem. Is there anything wrong with this? Why is he fucking shirtless? He's shirtless in the live event. The skin, like, in the live event, when he did the concert, with the Travis Scott concert, he's wearing this. And so when you get the skin, it's him from the concert. Same thing goes for the Ariana Grande thing. She had 2 different versions of herself in that event. And when you buy the skin, you get those 2 edit styles. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think this is, like, in and of itself, bad in any way, personally. Maybe you guys disagree with me, but, like, I don't think what they've done here is in any way bad. I guess the problem is that we're in such like a politically like heated time right now where you've got the right is more extreme and open with their horrific views than ever, and the left is more like, especially like the online left is more open and like militaristic, or what's the word for, not militaristic, there's a word for it, militant, more militant about our beliefs than ever. Like we're way harder, like, you know, maybe not really. Like the internet has given left-wing people and right-wing people the opportunity of being even more mask off than ever. And I feel like doing something like this in a video game when gaming is like so filled with right-wing people and left-wing people having like a full-on culture war right now, I guess it's good that we're like that these game studios and whatnot are making it very clear they're against like the racists in the gaming community. But at the same time, I feel like it empowers like the grillers, right? Imagine you're just some griller who does not give a fuck about politics seeing like the MLK thing, right? It's gonna make you cringe. Not to mention it gives ammo to right-wingers that are trying to convince normies that like the left is trying to ruin gaming for you. Like, how many people do you think thought that you couldn't boot up Fortnite without seeing, like, this MLK event? you know? That it was that shoved in your face. It clearly, like, from the looks of it, and knowing how Fortnite works as having been a player of it, that's clearly not what it is. It's a little cringy, but I think overall it's a good thing. But God, is it going to give the right ammo? And I think that's the case for any time something progressive happens. Like when every time a trans person becomes more accepting in society, like accepted in society, transphobes become more devout in their belief that trans people are a threat. That doesn't mean we shouldn't make trans people more accepted. And the same goes for like black people and like gay people and women and etc. I don't know. I think it's just a little bit in poor taste. You know what I mean? Let's see. What else is there? Is it literally just this lobby where the speech is on and there's like, is there... Yeah, it just seems like they did a recreation of Washington, D.C. with like the big screen playing the event. You can hear it everywhere and they have like a museum and stuff. And I guess it's neat, you know, because Fortnite's one of the few games besides, I guess, Minecraft where you could do something like this. Like, I am not in any way opposed to that. Like, is anyone here opposed to this idea to having like a digital recreation of Washington with like an MLK museum and the I Have a Dream speech, like something you would go to if you could go there physically, but especially during COVID, it's not really like you couldn't necessarily go there. I think yes. I think this is completely fine. Like as a concept, it's just that Fortnite is such a memed and like a memed game and like cringy game in pop culture that doing this in this game lends more credence to the right than like if they did it in Minecraft. Like if Minecraft did a server, like if Mojang ran a server like this where they did basically this but in Minecraft, I don't think it'd get nearly as much shit as Fortnite doing it. You know what I mean? I think since Fortnite has such a young player base, it's pretty base, TBH. I think so too. I think that this is a good thing overall. I just think that the left needs to realize that the more progressive society gets, the more violent and opportunistic the right is going to get. You have to understand, like, the right at this current state are like a cornered animal, you know? You know how if you see a wild animal, you never want to corner it because that makes it feel threatened and that makes it lash out with violence? The right at this junction are very much like a cornered animal. That's because they're losing. They are cornered. They are losing. They feel scared. And that's why they're acting out in violence. That's why you're getting the Christchurch shooting. That's why you're getting Charlottesville and Trump getting elected, which is just like this fling that happened once. And then he didn't even serve a second term. It was like a fucking... the left got very complacent in 2016. Most Americans were not in support of Trump. The left just got too complacent and didn't feel like turning out to vote because Hillary was very uncharismatic and they didn't feel like Trump had a chance. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's what's happening with the right now. They're getting way more opportunistic and way more like a rabid, like cornered animal, and that they know they're losing and they're getting more opportunistic and we need to be ready to fight against like whatever bullshit they try to pull. In their failing relevance, right? I don't know, Fortnite doesn't really seem like a teenage white boy type of game. They're all playing COD. No, Fortnite right now is like, back in the day when it was at its peak, I think Fortnite was an extremely diverse game in regards to player base. Like, everybody played Fortnite back in 2017 and early 2018, but now, yeah, it is a lot of like preteens and teenagers who want to become pro. Who spent the last couple years grinding the game and they don't want to feel like it was for nothing, even though Fortnite's comparatively a very dead game now. But no, I think like a lot of young people play it and maybe being exposed to these ideas is definitely good. I think that one of the best ways you generally get a population to become more progressive is by introducing them to progressive ideas in media, right? That's why, diversity is so important, right? How many racist people do you think were around black people a lot growing up? I'd guarantee the vast majority of them were not around a lot of black people growing up. And I think that's a big part of it, right? The more like young people are exposed to people who aren't just like white cis straight dudes, the more they're going to become accepting of those groups. Yeah, the Quartering's upset about the Candyman reboot. Yeah, I want to make it very clear here. These types like the Quartering and Geeks and Gamers and no bullshit do not give a fuck about the mediums they complain about, okay? They really don't give a fuck, all right? They really don't care. They just want to complain about progressivism and make lots of money for it. Xander Hall, what would 13-year-old dude Chudzan think if he played this MLK stage in Fortnite? well, 13-year-old me, Chud, Zan, wasn't really a chud. I was just sort of a 13-year-old who was a little bit edgy, I guess. But 13-year-old me wouldn't have had a problem with this. Late 16 and especially early 17-year-old me would be mad shit-talking this. Early 17-year-old me would have been shit-talking this. Because it was around, like, my early 17 was around the time when I was most right-wing. So yeah, I'd say that's probably what would have occurred here. Candyman was one of the first horror movies to feature an almost entirely black cast. Yeah. I mean, yeah. No shit. Yeah. The funny thing is that Candyman's not at all out of the ordinary. The quartering pisses in his basement. He does piss in his basement, true. Anyway. No more stun locking. I feel like we've talked enough about this. I really don't think it's a big deal. It's really not a big deal. Anyone who wants to sensationalize this and make a huge fucking deal about this is not worth taking seriously, okay? I barely think this deserves a segment, and it wouldn't deserve a segment if it weren't for the people talking about it. So here's where we have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. I mean, you've got a lot of people talking about this. He's got the Double Toasted podcast. Never seen that before. It's DT, though. So, hey, the Destiny Triax podcast is back. Obviously, because I looked up MLK Fortnite, a lot of the things are going to be about, like videos of the event and, like, the Rift Tour shit and whatnot. But, like, people like the Quartering are making videos about this shit. Right-wing figures are getting real fucking pissed. You can see the announcement trailer for this event, and anything else about it is massively ratioed, especially the PlayStation one. There's clearly pushback on this, and that is why I felt this was worth covering. Had the right not made such a huge deal about this, and this hadn't become such a big fucking issue, I wouldn't care about this. This wouldn't be worth covering. It's not a big deal. Anyone who thinks that just getting mad about the event itself is worthwhile news should not be taken seriously. I do like this effect they did at the beginning, though, you know, where you see, like, you walk through the Time magazine cover and then you're in. That was a cool effect. Fortnite's pretty good with their events. They know what they're doing. Anyway, that's really all there is to say about it. The Double Toasted podcast is based as hell. Okay. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, ring the goddamn bell icon if you haven't already, because YouTube will not tell you when I go live or upload a new video unless you ring that bell icon, so fucking do it. Not to mention, only like 30% of you are actually subscribed, so let's make that percentage number go up a little bit, huh? Let's try to make that go up a little bit.